Hey, it's Matt Morris. Welcome back to day number 5 and the final lesson in our 5-day series on how to go from amateur to pro in network marketing. And as I was kind of going through my notes, reviewing today's lesson, realizing this could easily be a 20-day lesson plan. But for the sake of time, I picked out what I thought would be just a handful of the most powerful elements here that you can put into immediate use to accelerate your business. And one of the most common questions that I get, whether it's on my blog, through Facebook, at question and answer sessions that I do at live events, it is overcoming objections. So if you've been in network marketing for any length of time and you've shared your opportunity with more than just a couple people, chances are you've gotten objections. Now, there are a ton of different ways to handle each objection. And since we're starting to run low on time, I'm not going to get into all the various ways to overcome every objection, but I do want to give you a 3-step framework for overcoming some of the most common objections that are going to come up, whether it's I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I've got to think about it, I've got to talk to my spouse. So what I want you to do is I want you to write these 3 steps down, and then I'm going to dissect each one. So step number 1, when you get an objection, okay, step number 1 is to validate the objection, okay? Make sure it is a real objection. Step number 2 is to qualify their interest. Okay, step 2, qualify their interest. And then step 3, pretty sophisticated here, it is to help them. Okay? So step number 1, validate the objection. See, a lot of people are going to give you an objection because they're too polite to say no. See, it's a way not to hurt your feelings. And because they say something like, I want to think about it, what happens is you end up calling them a day or 2 later, and because they still don't want to hurt your feelings, they end up not taking your call. They end up avoiding you. You end up making it look like you're chasing them, and it ends up damaging your relationship. So part 1 of this, step 1, is to show them your posture, and at the same time, letting them off the hook if they don't want to do it. See, what you really want to get to is the attitude that we're not looking for everyone. In your mind, you should learn to love a quick no. So here's what step 1 sounds like. So your prospect, you've gone through everything, are you ready to get started? And they say, I don't have the money. Well, then you say this, I hear you. Hey, John, I hear you, but tell me this, and just be honest. Is it really that you don't have the money, or is that just a polite way of saying no? Because I'm totally cool either way. I just want to help you, okay? So step number 2 is to qualify their interest. So if they say, after you've done that, it's cool either way, I just want to help you, and they say, no, it is, I just don't have the money, okay? So then you want to qualify the interest. So you're just going to ask them, so John, do you want to do this? And they tell you yes. See, you're letting them off the hook if they don't want to do it, okay? You've got posture. You're the president and CEO of your own multi-million-dollar company. You don't need everyone. You only want people that really want to do this. So they say they want to do it. Then you ask a second time. You say, are you sure? Are you sure? Okay? So you ask them a second time. You get them to tell you twice that they really want to do this. So notice how when you qualify their interest, it's not you selling them, it's them selling you on the fact that they want to do it. And you haven't gotten them to sell you once, they've sold you twice. They've told you twice they want to do it. So this puts you in a totally different league than every other amateur network marketer out there who is begging and pleading people to come join them. Okay? And then step number 3, it's just to help them. So this is where you become their success consultant. See, they've told you they want to do it, so you're not begging, you're not convincing at this point, you're just helping them make a decision that's in their best interests, not your best interest. So there is definitely an art and a science to this process. Now, helping people overcome their limiting beliefs about time, money, network marketing, themselves even, that's where you go from being average to a real true master. And this is one of the areas I'm most passionate about. And having worked with thousands of people all over the world over the last 20 years, I've developed a lot of different ways to overcome the objections that come up so you can help lead people into action. And I'm not going to go through all those in this training series. I don't have time for all that. But if you want true mastery in objection handling, feel free to check out my Millionaire School program, where I actually teach you exact word-for-word scripts on how to handle almost every single objection that I've ever had come up over the last 20 years. Now, as an example, I give you 10 ways to overcome, I've got to think about it. 10. 6 ways to handle, I've got to talk to my spouse. 9 ways to overcome, I don't have the money. 8 ways to overcome, I don't have the time, and there's also a ton of others. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. And the next thing that I want to talk to you about here are the numbers, okay? It's what to expect. Now, I am a firm believer that success in network marketing is a massive numbers game. So let's talk about numbers. Okay? Now, you can be the best closer in the world, but if you don't sponsor enough people, you are never going to create the lifestyle that you dream about. After 20 years building teams with over 800,000 people all over the world, I'm going to show you the numbers that have been true for me and almost every other leader that I've ever worked with. So out of every 10 people that you enroll, okay, out of every 10 you enroll, you're going to get about 4 who do nothing, okay? Nothing at all. You never hear from them again. They don't come to a training. They don't come to a meeting. They just disappear. Now, it might be 3 or 4, give or take a little bit. So 4 do nothing. You get about 4 who do a little bit, okay? They do a little bit, okay? Maybe they sponsor someone. Maybe they don't sponsor someone. They might come to a training. They might not come to a training. They do a little bit. Now, you're going to get 2 who are serious. Okay, these are the builders. Now, it might be 1, it might be 3, but and my averages over the years has worked out to about 2 out of every 10. Now, here's the mistake that most people make is they end up enrolling a handful of people. Maybe they enroll 3 or 4 people, and then they start complaining, my group's not doing anything. And what happens is you really want them to succeed. It's like, oh man, and you've done the math in your head. If I enroll 4 who enroll 4 who enroll 4, I'm going to be earning a 6-figure income, a 7-figure income. It's going to be awesome. But what happens is, what I believe is the 4s, we would call those chickens. Okay? And our responsibility to be a pro in network marketing is to sort through the chickens to find the eagles. So these 4 are chickens. These 4 are either chickens or they're eagles in training. And then you get about 2 who will actually, do anything, who will really be serious. And so what happens is you run around and you've got these, 4 chickens on your team, and you want those chickens to be eagles. I mean, you really want them to fly. So, it's like, you enroll them and they don't do anything, you'll call them up and you're like, come here, little chicken. And you got your chicken and they're like, bark, bark, I'm ready. And, they're saying that they want to do something, but they don't do anything. And you're like, all right, listen, we've got a training on Tuesday night. We're going to have this, amazing leader coming in, super duper diamond, whatever, coming in town. Well, you'll be there. Bark, I'll be there. And you're like, all right, chicken, fly. Now, do chickens fly? No, they don't fly. So what happens is the chicken falls down. And you feel so bad for the chicken. You're like, they don't show up to the meeting at all. You're like, what happened? So you run over them. You pick up your chicken. You're like, hey, what happened? Bark, bark, worked really hard. I was tired. And you're like, but chicken, there's a training on Saturday, a super Saturday training. It's going to be a 5-hour deal. You can come. There'll be a presentation before. And bark, bark, I'm excited. And you're like, all right, cool. Now, fly, chicken. And what happens is Saturday comes around and they don't show up. And your chicken doesn't fly, it flops back down to the ground. And you run around, you chase your chicken, you pick it up, and you're like, hey, what happened on Saturday? Bark, bark, I slept in. And you're like, oh man, it was such great information. You want to get together for lunch? I'll teach you everything that I learned. And they're like, bark, yes, thank you. So you sit down for lunch and you spend 2 hours training your chicken on how to fly. Now here's the rule is chickens don't fly. It doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to fly. So here's what most network marketers do. This is what amateurs do, is you got 5, 6 chickens running around and you're constantly like, come here chicken, fly, come here chicken, fly, fly. And what happens is you're never going to get those chickens to fly. And what happens if you end up constantly trying to make chickens fly, you end up with chicken shit all over you. So you cannot expect chickens to turn into eagles. You need to be the eagle and you need to go find eagles and work with the eagles. You see, duplication, as most people think about it in network marketing, it is a myth. It is like a, pink unicorn. Okay, see, you don't enroll 10 people who enroll 10 people who enroll 10 people. It doesn't work that way. You don't enroll 2 who enroll 2 who enroll 2. There's never been a case where that's worked. And it doesn't matter how slick of a recruiting pitch you might hear, the real duplication, hear me on this. Real duplication comes from duplication of leadership. You see, everything rises and falls on leadership. And your success in this business, it's going to rise to success and fall to failure based on you becoming a leader and your ability to attract other leaders. Now, I'm going to break down some numbers that I think you might find kind of fascinating here. A couple of years ago, I asked one of the tech guys with my company to break down the average number of personally sponsored people by different ranks. And I'm just going to give you a couple of these ranks. Now, the first rank that I'm going to tell you about, it's an average of about $45,000, $50,000 per year in income. Now, the average person within our company who had achieved that rank had personally sponsored 35. Okay? So they didn't go enroll 5 who enrolled 5 who enrolled 5. They didn't do 2 who enrolled 2 and 2. They enrolled 35 to get to about a $45,000, $50,000 a year income. Okay? 35. So the question you might want to ask yourself is, would it be worth doing something 35 times in order to make $45,000, $50,000 a year? Obviously the answer is yes, but you have to be willing to go through enough rejection. You got to go through and sort through enough chickens to find enough eagles. Okay? Now the next rank I'll give you, it's an average of over $500,000 per year. And the average person who would achieve that rank, some were more, some were less, but the average was 55. They had personally sponsored 55 to get that level of income. So as you can see, you don't earn big money by enrolling 5, 10, 20 people. It just, in most cases, it doesn't happen. You have to sort through a lot of chickens to find the eagles. And as hard as you may try, you will never turn a chicken into an eagle. Now, there's going to be some eagles in training. You know, for me, I was an eagle in training. It took me 5 years to get there. Thank goodness I didn't give up. You're going to have people in your organization. So I'm not saying ignore them. No, they have as much value as anyone, but you're not going to invest all your time. You're going to invest the bulk of your time with the eagles who are ready to fly now. Now, there's one accelerator that I want to give you. And this accelerator is called the law of compressed activity. The law of compressed activity. Now, the law of compressed activity, it's an irrefutable network marketing law. Now, I know this because I invented it. Okay? It says that the effort that you put in a short, compressed amount of time is going to pay you way more money long term than the same amount of effort put in over an extended period of time. So, as an example, if you enroll 30 people in 90 days, that is going to make you way more money over the next 10 years than enrolling 30 people over the course of 1 year. Why? The reason is because going all the way back to lesson number 1, momentum is created through one word, belief. Okay? The speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. So if your group sees you putting in a lot of people quickly, they in turn believe they can put in a lot of people quickly, which leads to momentum. See, group momentum always comes after personal momentum. So if you sponsor 5, you set the bar at 5. And another key to remember is that your group will almost do always less than what you've done. So I'll give you an example. And the first time I ever created huge success in network marketing, I went out and I put 30 people in 1 month. My mentor, he said, if you put in 30 fast, that'll turn into thousands. And I was just the definition of coachable. So I went out and I did it. Now, I don't know that I've ever sponsored 30 in 1 month ever since. That was 15 years ago now. And I don't know how I did it. I mean, I was just all in. I was nonstop, calling people in the morning, in the afternoon. I was doing, 5, 6, 7, 8 presentations a day. I was driving all over the place. I mean, 30 in 1 month. And what ended up happening is I looked at my organization several months later, and in the back office report, I had no one in my entire group of hundreds and hundreds of people, no one had sponsored more than 30. See, I had set the bar at 30. And I did an interesting little thing. I was like, wow, that's fascinating, because I was a 24-year-old, broke kid driving a beat-up car. I mean, I had nothing going for me. So how was it that I was the top recruiter? So I was like, man, it's speed of the pack's determined by the speed of the leader. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out and put in 10 more people. So I actually stopped spending as much time with my team with support, and I went out and I put in 10 more personals. And what was interesting, I got to 40 total personals, and within a few months, I had a handful of people that had sponsored more than 30. And I don't know why, other than the fact that I had raised the bar. I raised the bar to 40. If I look at my organization right now, out of hundreds of thousands of people, we've built a team of over 800,000 people over the last 6 years. I've got a small handful that have personally recruited more than me. I mean, I've done about 200 over the last 6 years, and almost no one. I mean, there might be 2 or 3 people that have done more than that. It's crazy. You always set the bar. Now, the final principle that I want to cover, it is the one and only formula for success. Okay? So, this is how this works. Now, your success, your wealth, is going to be equal to FV multiplied by E multiplied by S. Okay? So, number one, your success and your wealth is going to be equal to your financial vehicle. Okay? Number one is your financial vehicle. So network marketing, in my opinion, is the greatest financial vehicle in the world for the average person to create extraordinary results. So no other industry in the world allows you to make the kind of money that we can make, have the kind of time freedom that we have, and allow us to just spend our life helping other people. See, my mentor, he told me years ago, he said, you're going to have to get good at something anyway. So if you're going to have to get good at something, get good at something worth getting good at. Okay? So realize you got the deal in network marketing. So number two is, the second factor is your effort. Okay? Bottom line is that if you don't put in massive action, you're never going to get massive results. So anyone who tells you that you can get rich quick and easy without a lot of work is flat out lying to you. I don't know any millionaire in our profession who hasn't worked extremely hard. Now, the third factor, and it's the one that most people never fully grasp, and that is your skill. Okay? You can work really hard in an amazing network marketing company, but if you never get mastery on the skills that it takes to be a leader, you're going to bang your head against the wall year after painful year after painful year after painful year. You see, the reason why I made it, and I really made it big in network marketing, is because it's not just because I worked really hard. I did work really hard, but it's because I took the time to get mastery. See, I abided by the philosophy that Jim Rohn teaches. He said, work as hard on yourself as you do on your business. So I read over 60 books on network marketing. I bought every home study course I could find. I went to as many generic network marketing seminars as I could, along with every training that my company offered. I still do all that today. And unfortunately, I had to weed out a lot of bullshit, because there are a lot of books written by people who have either never built a network marketing organization, so they're training on theory, or maybe they did it one time years ago, and they were never able to do it again, so they decided they would go out and write books on how to be successful. Now, because I made the decision to master the skills of network marketing and become a professional, I've been able to live what most would consider to be a dream lifestyle. Traveled to almost 70 countries around the world. I've gone paragliding in the Andes Mountains. I took my mom to Machu Picchu for her 60th birthday. Been able to ride camels around the Great Pyramids in Egypt. Have seen the Leaning Tower of Pisa, cage diving with the great white sharks, done the highest bungee in the world. Yes, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. Ran through the rainforest in Victoria Falls, bought a Ferrari, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the adventure that my life has been because of network marketing and because of working on my skill of getting mastery. And this is what I want for you. I want you to be able to experience that same lifestyle. And if it's okay, I'm going to give you my philosophy on life. I believe life, it's about chasing peak experiences. You see, we've got a limited amount of time on this planet. And on our tombstone, it's got the year you were born and it's got the year you died. And what's in between those 2 years is a dash. So my question to you as we finish up, what is your dash going to look like? See, the reality is most people die about age 35. They're just not buried until about age 85. So part of my mission in life, it's waking people up from the dead and showing them how to really live life, how to make their dash as exciting as possible, because at the end of our lives, the only thing we're going to have are memories. So if all we have are memories, don't you think it's important to do as many things that are going to make that dash meaningful? You see, everyone dies. Everyone dies. but not everyone really lives. And because of network marketing, because of the wealth, because of the lifestyle that you can create from it, just imagine being able to travel all around the world where time and money is never an issue again. Imagine being able to secure your retirement and living your life in peace. Imagine being able to drive the car of your dreams, being able to have the home of your dreams, live anywhere in the world that you want to live. Imagine being able to send your kids or your grandkids to the best schools money can buy. See, at my core, I believe all that's possible for you. And my goal is just to help you make it a reality. See, in this series, I've given you some powerful concepts that can dramatically increase your results. But my friend, this is just the beginning. Continue the learning process. Continue working on yourself. Make a commitment to achieving the highest potential God has for you. Go make life an adventure.